Starship construction completed.
Welcome, everyone,
Starship
to Tethys
construction
Shipyards.
completed.
I am Takeshi Yamato, Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
And, well, before we get to Hyrans starships, we are going to do a primer on the Hydrans.
As well as the Interstellar Concordium, because why not?
Yeah.
Regardless, the Hydran kingdoms were exiles, sent away from Hydra at a indeterminate time thanks to the Hyrans and the Klingon Empire.
Sire?
Starship construction completed.
As you can tell from the accents, they are very much modeled off of jolly
Starship
old
construction
England.
completed.
However, they are tripedal. They have 3 legs, breathe methane, and have 3 eyes.
Huh.
Still, during their grand exile, they couldn't exactly build much of anything.
We have engaged hostile forces at this location.
Fortunately, they took some lessons from a neighboring race, the Securians, and developed
Yes, Lord.
a new weapon. The first generation of fighters. And thus,
Starship construction completed.
the Hydrans became the first to create a new fighter craze.
Starship
All fighters
construction completed.
from Starfleet's Wraith class to everything used by the Romulans, the Klingons, even the Gorn. Though Gorn and Hyrans use pseudo-fighters because one has a love of huge weapons platforms and the other is just too big to fit in something
Standard.
the size of an F-86.
Yeah.
But the Hydrans used them because they simply didn't have enough big capital ship hulls.
So instead, they made tiny ships designed to soar.
Which appropriately had some, well, unique jamming systems. Because, you know, weapons systems in Trek are very accurate. Still, it is time for us to examine, well,
Space frame designs, and come up with basic stack guidance.
I almost feel sorry for the ISA. Yeah, sucks to be that guy.
Our colony is under siege.
As you can see, some of the designs for Hydran starships look very Klingon.
Well, their world was occupied, and the Klingon planform does work. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at the Katinga and how many ships it's influenced. The Kamarag, the Vorcha.
Starship construction
True
completed.
enough.
Our
In
colony
fact,
is under siege.
the Hydrans were known to capture Klingon battlecruisers and repurpose them for use,
Huh.
stripping out their disruptors for their preferred weapon systems: phasers, hellbores, and fusion cannons.
How can I serve?
Yes, fusion cannons. Those are a unique weapon system that we have come up with some stats.
My lord! We
Fusion
stand ready!
cannons. Well,
Fall
fusion
in!
cannons are basically locked in on a forward firing, meaning that like lance weapons,
Starship
you have
construction
to
completed.
point the ship at your target in order to fire. meaning the
Starship
difficulty
construction
to
completed.
kit with such a weapon is increased by 2. However, fusion cannons are close-range weapons, as opposed to the long range of a spinal is.
The reason for this is simple. In SFC, they were kind of ineffective at maximum range. They did almost no damage. But once you got within a range of 80,000 kilometers, they became infinitely more useful. And devastating, especially when overloaded.
Yeah. And in terms of damage, the fusion cannon has a stress rating of structure of scale plus security plus 3,
Starship
same as a spinal.
construction completed.
And its stress, it has the
Starship
piercing
construction
1
completed.
stress effect, meaning it negates 1 resistance. And well, ignores one point of the target's total resistance for each effect rolled on a challenge dice damage roll, and it has the high yield and devastating
Setting
weapon
up now.
combos. High yield is very simple. If the attack inflicts 1 or more breaches to the
Your
system,
orders.
it inflicts 1 additional breach. And I basically consider that as doubling breaches, though I suppose that might be open to interpretation. And devastating is the difficulty of an engineering task
Please carry a
to
report.
repair damage caused by this weapon is increased by.
Starship construction completed.
That's a combination of the anti-proton beam and graviton beam weapon types, but I think that fits a fusion cannon. It can only fire at close range, but if it
Dreadnought
hits,
reporting.
it's going to hurt.
Which brings up the other Hydran weapons system, the Hellbore.
Right.
In SFC, when a Hellbore hits you, it does damage to every shield facing. Doesn't matter what shield facing you it hits all of them, but it homes in on the weakest facing. Against a Hellbore cannon, positioning is pointless.
Starship construction completed.
By homing in, is this thing?
Starship construction
It is not a
completed.
it is not a guided weapon. It is in fact an energy weapon.
Okay.
Which also does some pretty nasty things to Lyran expanding sphere generators. If an expanding sphere generator is active and a Hellbore hits it, that expanding sphere generator is going to do one thing. Explode.
Ah. Alright. Well, at the very least, we will consider a Hellbore a type of Tetrion beam weapon. Tetrion beams have the depleting stress effect, which removes an additional 1 from shields for each effect roll.
Shoulder! Homs!
Let's see. It deals damage to all shield faces. We could also give this the spread quality. If 1 or more effects are rolled, the attack causes an additional hit that deals half the damage of the initial hit, plus 1 for every effect rolled after the first. The additional hit is resolved separately, reduced by resistance, reduces shields, and potentially causes an additional breach. If a breach is caused by this additional hit, it must target a different random system than the initial attack. typically, this is only given to. Typically, the spread quality is given to red. Isn't tied to a damage type. Rays from the 24th century have a range, first used in the 24th century, have a range category of medium, and when the attack is declared, the attacker may choose to grant either the area or spread weapon effect to the attack. Area says area damages the target and any method damageable object in contact range. And then one additional target within close range of the initial target. Starting with three major ranges are close, medium, and contact is like if you're actually touching, like close enough to touch, like several entering the shuttle bay. So in terms of combat, it's usually only close, medium, or long. If you're in contact range, you're probably looking to. If you're in contact range in combat, you're probably looking to send over boarding parties through actual docking tools. So weapons in contact range will count as close.
Though, of course, some of you eagle-eyed viewers, and probably Take, have noticed that phasers fire rather rapidly from a Hydran ship.
Yeah.
That is because they have invented the Gatling phaser.
Oh.
Now, while this means their weapon systems are not as powerful as, say, the legendary phaser banks of the Constitution class, it means they can fire a lot faster.
Right. I think we came up with special.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. That is definitely gonna hurt.
Let's see. One of our.
Yeah, the Yamato does. Ooh, that guy's gonna die. Or he's already dead.
Call that up, and I'll read what we have there.
Of course, I haven't exactly played all that much with the Hydrans in SFC2, out of necessity more than anything else. So there may be an additional weapon here.
Yeah. But, yeah.
The photon cannon, which is basically a photon torpedo that doesn't have the torpedo.
Yeah.
So we might as well just treat that as an unguided photon torpedo.
Yeah. Okay, so Gatling phasers in the Yamato 1.
Sire.
The ship's phaser banks can fire at a much higher rate than other ships. As a minor action, phaser banks can be set to Gatling mode and double their stress rate. So basically, if you're firing a Gatling phaser, you're going to be dealing you're going to have the potential of dealing twice as much damage.
Forward! Sire. Poor sire.
Ooh.
Fall in! Moving out!
Yeah. Gatling phasers. Hellbores are depleting weapon. A weapon with the depleting and spread. Even though they're probably not going to raise things. And of course, Gatling phasers.
And before I decide to blow up that ISC base,
Our starship has entered
Yeah.
a dangerous nebula.
Or
Our starship
fighters.
has entered a dangerous
Yes.
nebula.
And let's also figure out what the Hydran specialty is for in terms of system values.
oh, they are very much a defensive sort of people. Every single one of their ships' primary weapons battery are not its vast quantities of Hellbore cannons, Gatling phasers, or even the fusion cannons. It's their fighter arm.
Ah,
Every
So-
single Hydran ship has at least one demi-squadron of fighters.
okay. So they're probably going to focus. They're probably going to be like Telans, focused on structure and communications. Structure for defenses and such, maybe increased shields and hull integrity, and comms
I
for
serve thee.
coordinating their massive
Head in there
wings
now.
of small craft.
Especially when, you know, all of those fighters are heavily armed for their size. Many of them are armed with ship-sized Hellbore cannons.
Right. We might need to do small craft section. We might need to do a small craft section for we might need to do videos covering small craft for both the Lyrans, the Lyrans,
Macho.
and maybe also their
Blackman,
space stations.
forward.
Which would probably be a very wise option, considering that, well... the Lyrans and Gorn use pseudo-fighters.
Yeah. So
Fall in.
A nebula is destroying
we haven't done
our
too
starship.
many
Our
space
starship.
and we haven't done
Nebula.
any
Our
space
starship
stations, even
has
though I
entered
gave
a
it
dangerous
primary.
nebula. A nebula is
So,
destroying our starship.
so
Our starship
this
has
is
entered a
sort of
dangerous
going to be a
nebula. Our
first
starship has entered a
one.
dangerous nebula. Our colony is under
we'll do
siege.
it just
A
like we do
nebula
with all
is
the ships.
destroying our starship. Our
Cover the
starship
floor, we'll
has
cover
entered
the-
a dangerous
Cover
nebula.
the floor, then Ron will cover the floor, then I'll get into the stat. Then we'll work out the stats.
Take on, lads.
And we'll basically assume that these are... we'll basically assume that these follow the Federation Klingon rules. Same thing. And especially the small craft.
Our
So-
colony is under siege. We have infiltrated our forces.
So starting in 200, odds have a base system. Odds have a base of 16, increasing in their 5. Shuttlecraft have a base of 19, increasing odds 16 plus or minus 1 every 25 years,
sir.
minimum 12. 2 department
Our
points.
colony is under siege.
Shuttlecraft 19, and 200, intervals of 10 years, and minimum of 14, and 3 department points. About 49 points in 2200, 10 years, minimum system value of 15, and 4 department points.
Your lordship.
Our colony is under siege. We have
Lyran
infiltrated
and
hostile forces.
Lyran and Lawrence travel. So this is talk about Canada. Just because Lyrans with their big guns and Gorn their bulk.
None shall pass.
So I could easily like do some odds and shuttlecraft. Yeah.
None
Yeah, fair
shall
enough.
pass.
But yeah. Well, Hydrans are
Jump
probably
to
going to be
it.
mostly pods or shuttlecraft. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, rotorcrafts would be more like captain. Well, mods and shuttlecraft would be used in fighters.
I serve thee.
Federation attack fighter counts as a shuttle. Federation attack fighter counts as a shuttle. So that has been the Hydrans. Next we will cover the ISC, and then after that we will start getting into the nitty-gritty of ships from these three factions, starting with the Hyrans.